Well, good evening to RPG Limit Break. Good evening, Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise fans all over the world. It's good to see you all again. I am Demarine2. I am joined tonight by Silverfire. Sil, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty well, and I'm pretty excited to see two of our other friends, Paranoia and Mechalink, to be racing tonight. Um, I gotta say, when I saw that these two were racing in the first week, it was one of the ones I was real excited about. So Mechalink has appeared in multiple Highway for the Zenith zones. I believe it was top 32 last year.
Yep.
And then Paranoia is our Hummingway Open champion. So this is uh this is probably going to be a pretty tight race, I would imagine.
Yeah, I would certainly expect so. Of course, Paranoia. This is Paranoia's chance to really show if they're ready to break into the big scene, or if their Hummingway Open run was just kind of a run against softer competition and they just can't hack. So we're going to hopefully see that they can push it out to push Mechalink to the limits and really show off what they're made of. Mechalink, of course, is no stranger to competition, plays professional Magic the Gathering, just kind of knows the heart and soul of competition in and out. Um, just for years upon years outside of Free Enterprise and has brought a lot of that experience here. So he is a really strong competitor. So this should be a really fun run.
Absolutely. And I'm excited to see what our five objectives that I rolled are and how this early game is going to shake out.
Yeah, really.
Kane's start is certainly a bit of a gift to the runners. Kane being one of the better melee characters in the game.
Kane probably being my number one favorite starter character to see, other than maybe Palom. So yeah, this should be a fun little start for our two runners.
And they should be off very shortly at this point. Maybe about a bit less than a minute to go.
Yeah, we should be at about a minute. We should be under a minute to go here for our runners to go live. Again, we are running on a bit of a delay, so this is why we are not precise on it, but once they get going, we'll get that timer running. Again, two very good runners, hopefully going to put together two very good runs for us, and this is our last race of the week on the RPG Limit Break channel. So there'll still be runs on the weekend on the Free Enterprise channel and on Randomania, but for now, this is going to be our wrap-up race for RPG Limit Break for week 1 of the Fabul Gauntlet, which is very exciting.
This weekend, there's going to be a Tales of series marathon, which is why we won't be having any races here. But if you're interested in that will be. You can check it out in the schedule in the notes below for upcoming online events.
The Tales series is fantastic, and so yeah,
I do love the Tales series.
absolutely. But for now, we're not going to be talking about the Tales series. We are going to be
No,
talking
we are.
about Free Enterprise.
So what is our other starting character? We got a Sid that makes for a pretty smooth early game, I want to say, and a Hook. Wow.
Well, we could have done better. We could have done worse. Sid brings a ton of hit points to the forefront, but he's slow as it gets. But at least he can take a hit or two. A bow will let us back row glitch him. It will be pretty solid. So we shall see how that all plays out. I have to do one last thing here, which is turn up the game audio.
All right, and we're about to see our 5 objectives. And we have boss hunt for D-Lunar, boss hunt for Mylon, boss hunt for Dark Imps, boss hunt for Volvalis, and play the Twin Heart music. You're welcome, everyone.
Are we chasing some bosses and playing some music?
We're chasing bosses and playing music.
Oh my.
We have a DKC and one of the Mylons there.
I mean, of the bosses, Volvalis, not a generally fun boss, and not a generally fun boss out there. As bosses go, at least they've got Kane, and so Kane is definitely going to be hanging around for a while. The Lunar Dragons can be very easy or very difficult depending upon where you find them and whether you've got the tech down for it. Mylon and Dark Imp's not so bad, but you gotta find them. So,
Yep. We do actually see a nice find there in this shop. There's some vampires. Both of our runners look like they're going to sell one of these 3 change rods and the Odin summon to grab a couple vampires for their early boss fights.
Yeah, in case they don't find weapons, this is just going to be a nice way to make it possible to push on through the early bosses without too much of a concern. Both of our runners going with the mirror play here. They shop in Baron, they loot in Baron, and then they are on to Damsian for looting.
I'm trying to keep an eye out if there's anything really fancy here. Charm arrows are nice to have. A ninja sword will be nice if Edge decides to show his face.
More sells for a ton of money, all things considered. And there's also kamikaze there. So, and some, charm arrows are about the most exciting thing I think we've seen here.
Yeah.
As both of our runners are going to release the hovercraft just in case, because we've got to kill 80 billion bosses and already have the hooks. So, and Antidel mentioning the excitement of the RNG Grimoire. Anything can happen. It's usually Chocobo.
Oh, come on. It could be Bomb. Can't it?
I don't think it can be. I think it can only be the original flavored summons, but, summoning Mist Dragon with your 190 hit point cane is a good time.
Mechalink has an interesting shopping route here. He's not going for the Antlion Cave yet. He's going to go check more item shops.
Find silk webs here in Agart. Not a bad find.
Grabs his 1 silk web with probably Zeromus' name on it. We don't know what name that is yet, but that's the name that's on it.
Yeah, there was a Boreas and there was one other exciting thing there that I just saw and it just slipped my mind.
Ninja Hat.
Ninja Hat, right. Increases your character's agility by 3 and also gives you an absolute pile of defense. So, generally speaking, a very good thing to have. Paranoia considers putting it on Sid for a moment there. Instead, it's going to put it on Kane.
I think, given those 2 choices, I think I slightly prefer the Sid play, but maybe he just doesn't want to move it around later.
Yeah,
and he expects Kane to be the one wearing it long term.
Yeah, Kane will probably be wearing it the entirety of the siege, so kind of makes sense at this point. It is just a it basically rates. It's real good. So first major divergence, Paranoia is going to give us our first look at a boss here in Antlion Cave. Mechalink is going to give us a look at the character on top of the mountain. On your left screen, the good Dr. Lugi. On your right screen, Rydia.
I like Rydia here, and wow, this is going to be an easy fight. Although gonna throw vampires down on it, even though that's not strictly necessary.
I mean, just gonna absolutely make sure that back enemy is dead. Gonna
really
try.
Wants the XP.
Yeah, no, don't blame him for that. The only problem is if Rydia takes a melee hit, she will die.
Yeah, but we have life potions around, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah, the starting kit is a big part of the tactics of these flags. You do get to start with a stack of about 10 life potions, 10 cure 2s, a couple of tents, and a couple of star veils, which changes shopping trajectories immensely. So, Dr. Lugai does not last very long, and our first key item of the day is a pink tail from the Antlion Cave. No adamant armors in these flags. How do you feel about that, Silverfire?
I'm still not too sad to find the pink tail. Could get pretty lucky with getting a great item there. And they do already have the hook, so I bet we'll see that pickup. We might not see them rushing for it because it's just one thing. But if it's like a high tier weapon for Kane, or something cool for Rydia, like a Bahamut summon, that could just be put on the gas.
Yeah.
Because this is a boss hunting seed, we're seeing some quick boss checks at the Octomam spot. Just wants to see what they are, resets out of the Ashura fight. That's one you're kind of happy to not see later, somewhere else in the seed, because it can go a little slow.
Speaking of summons, you can get a summon at Hobbs now. It is the Mist Dragon. You're looking for something powerful there. That was not quite, I think, what Mechalink was looking for, but, you take what you get and you go with it.
Yeah, it's especially like it's based on Rydia's HP, and at this point in the game,
Or basically any point in the game. Rydian,
well,
Rydian not exactly.
especially this point in the game.
Yeah,
But you're right.
I mean, Project Dia mentioned Sylph is what you're looking for. I think really what you're looking for there
Silver
is
Titan,
Titan. Yeah,
Silver Titan, I like Silver Titan are kind of the ones you're real happy seeing.
I think the big secret is on these particular flags. Sylph is usually in shops, so you may just end up shop hunting for it at that point. The legend. Well,
A French vanilla Excalibur here.
a fast Excalibur at least. You know, no worry about turning in the rat
We
tail.
have Cecil in that inn waiting for us.
Oh my. So Paranoia has the advantage of knowing that there's an Excalibur in their back pocket at this point in time, and they know who's going to get it. Excalibur Cecil does a little bit of damage. A little bit.
Little bit.
Tiny bit. I mean, Excalibur is legitimately a reason to go get Cecil. Strap all of your gear to Cecil and never let go.
Absolutely.
So we've got Paranoia's in the Evelyn Cave, looking at the Evelyn Cave shop right now. Gonna see what's available here. Hourglass 2s and coffins.
Wow.
Ooh, wow. Everything must go fire sale for Paranoia, looks like here. Gonna stock up a little bit, but that's a heck of a find, certainly. Dark Imps are now free. Just check them off now. Once you find them, they're going to die. We also have ninja hats for sale and dragoon helmets for sale in Evelyn's armor shop, so pretty fantastic. Alright, Mechalink has laid waste to the good doctor here, is going to get the pink tail. We'll see if he decides to turn it in and get his hands on a sweet, sweet Excalibur, or decides not to and not get a sweet, sweet Excalibur.
Dragoon Gloves is not something you're sad seeing when you're looking at probably 3 heavy armor fighters.
Yeah, keeps Kane going. Like, it gives you them resistances and everything. Well, we know one. Wow. Boss in the hook route number 1 is a blue cloak. That's a 50-50 chance of being awe-inspiringly bad.
I'm really hoping to see an Upper Babel alt gauntlet. I'm really hoping to see an Upper Babel alt gauntlet.
But yeah, vanilla Edge here. That ninja sword gonna get put to good use. Edge cuts through the early game like a hot knife through butter. So Paranoia is gonna get rewarded. Mechalink's on the same path here. We'll see if Mechalink goes inside to pick up Edge, maybe. Our runner so far very much more interested in powering up instead of powering through spots at this point.
It looks like Para's not really interested in fighting that Steelman chest. I don't blame them. It's kind of slow and doesn't give as much XP as any of the other trap chests at this point in the game.
And if you don't get the hourglass off, your low hit point and low armor characters will just get plastered.
Well, I mean, Sid isn't exactly low hit point, but you're still right.
I mean, neither is Edge, but if Edge is up in the front row, Edge cannot take a hit. Stalemen hit ridiculously hard.
And Para's beelining straight to Ordeals. They have a plan. It involves an Excalibur.
Does it involve getting Cecil online as fast as possible, using this Edge to get Cecil online, and then running that Cecil Edge Kane trio through this
ninja
seed?
Sword, like already got a ninja sword for Edge.
There's a middle sword also on the way that he picked up, so he's got double weapon upgrades.
He's not even checking boxes that are like 2 steps out of the way.
Yep. Swimmy is just like, Ordeals is the obvious play in a boss hunt seed, so we're just gonna roll with this at this point. Yeah, no, this makes a lot of sense. You've got Mechalink casting Warp to get out of this place a little bit faster here. Ninja hats on Edge.
Putting Edge in the center just for the extra accuracy, and, it doesn't really matter if other people in the party get turns here.
Yeah, Edge is just a powerhouse at this point. Dark Elf is our first target here, so not Dark Imps. That's just unfortunate for our runners. Mechalink cashing out for Hourglasses and Coffins here.
Yeah, that's pretty much the same thing we saw Para do.
Yep.
Stalls a bit, but without selling that Grimoire. He looks like he's stalling a little bit, just menuing in general.
It's a tough choice here. Like, you want all
Yeah,
of this out now.
What do you what do you get rid of? What do you keep?
I mean, you get rid of Sid, you trade the Sid in for Rosa, and then you win the seed.
If you can get some Bacchus wines, you don't need a white mage. Not with heavy hitters that we're gonna have on the table.
I thought we were friends.
Look, sometimes the white mage deserves a vacation.
Well,
don't look at my white mage when I'm playing FF1.
So Mechalink is going to check the pink tail, it looks like. So Mechalink is going to get the good news of our Lord and Savior Cecil.
Para's just going to be dropping a Boreas on the Calbrena at the back attack spot. They fall into the deep ravine.
Yep, cashing out here. You can't take it with you when you die, so you just cash out certain items. Like, Boreases don't have a ton of use in the late game unless you run into, like, Rubicon. So
they're not going to have much of a use, like, once you have that Cecil, so yeah. Interesting little routing divergence here. You know, both of these runners are going to want to get this Paladin Cecil online. Ordeals first versus picking him up in the Baron Inn first.
We do get to find out, well, first, this is not a Hook Seed, sadly. That's a Magma Key on top of the tower. This is not the correct Mylan here. We have incorrect Millen here, and we have Bahamut in the Chamber of Reflection, so things stay interesting, though. It's very likely that Mechalink is going to be very quick to head on to the mountain as well.
Here is a required boss, however. The D-Lunar fight in the Baron Inn.
Yep, Edge Rock and Flame here.
This is no trivial fight.
Yeah, I think the big problem here is your high hit point characters are very hard to heal up at this point. Edge is going to get an emergency cure 2 off here to stay alive.
Edge's Flamecast actually did like a good 800 damage, though, and this mist will do okay-ish. 100.
It sure
yeah,
did.
Not enough.
Not enough. It sure did damage, I guess.
I was hoping that Holy Elemental would like push it over to like where it's real damage instead of not as much as the Remedy.
Nope.
Because that Remedy is a summon counter. Any summon gets countered by that.
But you got Edge. Edge Pack and Flame here is pretty solid. Kayn still has no weapon. Sid still has no weapon.
Oh, going for turning on the melee hits and picked a good time to do it, apparently.
Sid just drops dead.
Really is going to fall here, too. This could be real dicey.
Yeah, one more Flame Cast might do it. It better do it, because otherwise, Mechalink's in a lot of trouble here.
Yeah. I want to say Para's like very slightly in the lead, mostly from skipping that Hobbs check.
Yeah, no Rydia, but...
No Rydia, but like with these powerful melees, we get the pan from here, as well as the first objective down.
Oh, we found 25% of the required bosses, and 100% of the required Cecil.
Cecil's not truly required.
You've got an Excalibur.
But you've got an Excalibur in your pocket. Wow, Para blazed through that fight with the flame spell, had no hiccups.
Yep, just Para really showing his stuff right now. Taking again, you're like you said, a bit of an early lead as that Magma Key from Ordeals already. Mechalink is going to Ordeals right now. Neither our runner has done the escape or the rescue at Fabul Gauntlet, so
I'm a little sad that we're probably not going to see that Fabul Gauntlet come into play, or if it is Fabul Gauntlet up there. If it's Water Hag in the Rubicon spot, then good. We don't get to see it.
Yep. Para, unsurprisingly, leaving Fabul behind, heading straight to the Magma Key well. We are gonna see that. We are gonna see that key go down a well in just a moment.
Phew.
Yep. So we're gonna check some. Probably gonna check some shops. There's some, some gated shops down here. Access to things like sirens could still be in play, which would make this seed, even though it's a boss hunt, a very fast boss hunt. Right, the pan in hand. You're gonna get all your checks in Fabul at the same time. Uh,
Yep. There's a couple shopping checks that we've seen already, but Para has not seen before, such as these silk webs here in Agart.
I'm gonna grab 3, a couple for just in case bosses probably. Some of the high speed spots, if we end up seeing like Dark Imp Citizen or something.
I mean, if we're seeing Dark Imps, we're going to be using hourglasses
Oh,
to
oh yeah,
stop them in their tracks.
we
But there
have
are quite
those.
a few bosses that silk webs can make a huge difference on. Oh, speaking of sirens, this is it's going to be a little bit of a
Oh,
put the foot on the gas and a dwarf axe there just to glitch up your Cecil. What I'm referring to is the back row glitch. The dwarf axe is a throwing weapon, and once a character has ever equipped a weapon that does the same damage from back row, that character is set with the I do the same damage from back row flag. Unequipping that weapon does not unset that flag due to a bug in the game, so that character will always do full damage from back row.
But still gets all those back row defensive benefits that, the increased evasion and the decreased damage, so...
Absolutely. And in particular with Paladin Cecil, that can be further leveraged by having him in the back row covering other characters and still benefiting. Was that a marriage family therapy? A marriage family therapist for our occupational dwarf getting a random job every seed. Ninja swords in this shop. That is something that Para's trying to raise funds for, but doesn't really have enough things to sell.
Just buy 2
Also,
strength rings.
Strength rings?
Ninja shirt for Edge? Sure! God, these shops are,
Yeah, I think it's just going to be remember that this has some great stuff. Come back and buy it later.
Yeah, go, do things. Bring home a ton of money. Grab a second ninja sword and a bunch of ninja gear. So, yeah, this is getting real interesting here. Mechalink is going to be done with the mountain here and is going to end up probably going straight underground at this point. Lagging behind Paranoia's shop checks down here. Both of our runners have been on, with a couple of small deviances, fairly similar paths. One free key item check here for Paranoia, and it is a sand ruby.
A sand ruby.
Did we see the character in the bed? I don't think we've seen the
We
character
have
in the bed
not
yet.
seen the character in the bed yet.
Nothing down here but elixirs. If you desperately want one for like a Fusoya, I guess that's great. Gonna grab a double stack of Thor Rages though, just in case of Kainazo.
That is a lot of Thor Rages to be grabbing, in my opinion.
I mean, you get
It kind of doesn't matter because they're cheap, but
yep. We'll get our look at the bosses down here too. Are either of these bosses gonna be required for us tonight? And the answer is... yes. Yes, it is. The Leviathan spot is packing some imps. So we've located boss number 2. Paranoia, not quite... I don't think Paranoia's ready for this with level 1 everybody, but we'll see. Level 1 Cecil, level 15 Kane. Does have coffins. Does have hourglasses. There's only one problem, though.
They will one-shot the heck out of your party.
Oh yeah, they will just take your life. It doesn't matter if you're queuing up an item or not if you're dead.
So we're going to see Para grab a few levels here and have some scrambled eggs for breakfast.
It is indeed the breakfast of champions here. And Mechalink, unsurprisingly, is going to head on underground. We'll see if Mechalink does the shop sweep. Sirens are the big get in Dwarf Castle. There's not much else out there. Para decides to eat light, scrambles up a singular egg.
Yeah, I can see, like, with all the power that they have in hand, they're kind of thinking, like, I don't want to spend too much time scrambling eggs when I could be doing a lot of things that, you know, I have the capability of with all this fine equipment.
On the flip side of the coin, if you scramble 3 eggs instead of 1, you end up with, you know, half a dozen more levels, which could speed up other things, too. So, you know, again, there's that risk-reward of scrambling eggs that even, you know, comes into play at very high levels of play. So we've got Mechalink, unsurprisingly, going to stop at Dwarf Castle first. What do our Sylphs have tonight?
Oh my goodness. We haven't even used the Excalibur yet!
Well, those are my girls. They know what's up. Chat commenting, Mechalink has swung that Excalibur once. Paranoia's is pristine. It's in perfect condition, untouched.
You know what it's gonna do?
Probably get chucked at Zeromus.
Or it's gonna get sold to a shop so that they can afford a ninja sword.
And a bunch of, like, strength rings. Or you could, like, throw it at Zeromus. I mean, both options are great. Alright, Cecil is God. Mechalink sees those strength rings, too. The Cid making jokes about the sealed mint and box Excalibur. He's gonna get his Excal. He's gonna get his Excal. He's gonna get his Excal graded. It's gonna be like grade like 9.5.
Don't worry, once these runners actually get around to fighting something, you will in fact get some holy sword swinging.
I mean, unless Edge kills everything first.
At this point, I'm not worried about that. Wham.
Kane's still on a spear.
I didn't realize that MuchParanoia hadn't done the Fabul boss yet.
Neither runner had done the football boss yet, interestingly enough.
That is an interesting routing divergence because
I mean,
they knew the Excalibur and the
Edge and everything.
So they were just like immediately going for that.
And there's a Leviathan summon. Paranoia never got Rydia off the mountain, and Mechalink, well, doesn't get the joy of having Leviathan early. So... What's Sheila got for us? Does she have the goods, or does she have the nothing?
That first bit is a nothing. That second bit is a tower key. So
Keyless tower
I
off
think
the
we're
table.
likely to see a nice keyful tower jump here.
I mean, and you know, if you've needed some gear or something for your other characters, you might consider killing the encounter chests in the tower as well. Uh,
I don't think
I
these
don't think
runners are looking for gear anymore.
I think these characters are just not looking for anything. So yeah, Bach Shinobi mentioning that Moonveil will make Dark Imps completely free because you just Moonveil your character and then throw up your stop and then go to town. Para is going to check the character up here. Is going to find Rydia up on the mountain here.
Yeah, not really happy. Not really sad to see that after the Leviathan pickup. Not sure. Yeah, goes for it.
Yep. I mean, the fight's going to be completely free. It's
The
just
fight is certainly going to be free. It was kind of there was definitely a point of like, how much do I care?
going to throw the Grimoire just because they can. By the way, Dark Imps hurt. Oh god, Oh god, why they're murdering my party? The hourglass goes off.
The hourglass goes off. The fight is won.
Who needs hit points? Everyone's gonna die in one hit anyway. The only thing is, you do need to kill these before they kill you. the hourglass
I
may
believe
wear
that
off.
I believe. Okay, so we've got 2 coffins here.
Oh yeah. Okay, we're fine. This is fine.
This is fine. The last one only has around 7,000 health.
Oh yeah, this is fine. This is 100% okay.
I'm just like casually jumping into this fight with literally
Literally nothing.
no health on anyone, and it kind of doesn't matter because you get one. So why does it matter if you're full or empty?
Yeah, no, you're just gonna die.
I'm gonna cast Toad on it just to be sure if it wakes up again.
Yeah, if it wears off, we're gonna make sure that it's a frog.
Also, it means that it'll take more melee damage.
It's a good call. I mean,
It's not one you see very often.
no, but it works. Now you just hold A at it for a minute and it'll die. Paranoia is stocking up a little bit here, by the way.
Yep. Were those Bacchus wines in that shop?
It was hourglasses and coffins.
More hourglasses and coffins. Got it.
I just love it. We've got, like, an Earth Hammer for Sid. We've got, you know, a Ninja Sword, Middle Sword for Edge. We've got a Crystal Sword and or Excalibur Cecil. And Kane has...
Poor Kane.
Poor Kane! Has got nothing. Alright, well, looks like Paranoia is going to check the shop here in Kaipo. We haven't seen life potions yet, either, for sale, I believe, so... Oh, those are...
We haven't.
Those are
And they're
cabins.
not in Kaipo.
Cabins are in Kaipo, though, so grab a couple of those. Para hanging on to that Excalibur for now. It's a rat's tail from the Dark Imps. So we pick up a chain item here.
Also, a big pile of XP from the Dark Imps.
Double life glitch. Do it, Para. Take the white mage. Mechalink is gonna go and get a crystal sword.
Ditches the no equipment Kane. I don't think I've seen Kane ditched over Sid very often.
Nope. Maybe
But
hang on to that.
you know, Sid's got that Earth Hammer in the inventory, and Kane had a spear, so
Yep. Paranoia is going to give us our second boss spot check, and yeah, Mechalink is going to do some pan work here.
And meanwhile, the fairy friends are going to give Mechalink his crystal sword.
Oh, that's not a boss we wanted to see there. Kainazo is off the table at the Mist Dragon spot. And so Mechalink is going to take those freebies back up to Earth. Going to give the triple check at going to do the triple check at Fabul most likely here, lagging behind ever so slightly still, but you know, not badly so. Maybe a check behind right now. Also
I
does
mean, at
have the
this point,
Dark Imps.
Mechalink has also done that as Dark Imps, which is a
Not
major
insignificant.
point in his favor.
Not insignificant, certainly. So, a little bit of a divergence yet. We'll see if that double pays off or it was just a singular. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
that's a double payoff, all
That,
right,
that,
with the Darkness Crystal.
oh boy. Cashing in. Here we go.
We quickly see, meanwhile, why it was Sid that Mechalink chose to keep. That Sid is lying on the ground.
That's its day is done. Not that Sid gains a lot of agility anyway, but that Sid's day is over.
And I believe they put the Dwarf Axe on.
So
Well,
he gonna be slow.
which has a -5 agility on it.
So, Paranoia, though, with those extra levels, doing required things first makes a lot of sense in these flags. I think that's the one thing our runners have all sort of picked up very quickly. If it's required, if you double up and, say, get a Darkness Crystal from doing this, right, you've lost no time because you have to assume that the other person is doing required things as well. Gambit mentioning...
Mention in chat, yeah, with the Valavalis required, like, keeping Kane is on the table. On the other hand, you've got Crystal Sword Cecil in your party, you're just going to be berserking Cecil up against Valvalis, and
Going to
who
grab
cares?
a drink or something, I guess. Like, you can AFK at that point. Yeah, all the extra strength multipliers. There were strength rings for sale in a shop. If for some reason you run into a Zeus Gauntlet, even better. You know, the plus 15 strength on the Crystal Sword is kind of good, I heard. So we're just, yeah, that's kind of the assumption is that, yeah, we're going to have Cecil just cleave this seed. Parties are gearing up right now. Both of our runners are stocking up for their next battles here, getting their teams equipped. Paranoia investing in the best white mage in the world. Wait, second best white mage in the world. Look at a
You're a
competitive.
white mage.
Look at a competitive situation. I get it. Rose is really good.
You're a white mage.
All white mages. Okay, well, fine.
All white mages are good.
All white mages are good.
Mechalink, on the other hand, learning that Assura spell, making Rydia pretend to be a white mage randomly.
Edge is so fast here, just throws the hourglass. Those
Yeah, with that anchor. You know, unfortunately, those melees are queued already, so we still see this go off, but they conveniently kill off Sid.
And Porum doesn't die!
Yeah.
10 out of 10 would keep Porum alive. Mechalink catching up on boss checks on the overworld here. Gonna find nothing and also nothing. Gonna find two bosses that he wants off the table, which is always great.
Taking the time to actually kill Assura, on the other hand? Did Mecha forget to, like, save outside?
Maybe. That's fine, though. I mean, this spot's just kind of garbage, but, like, you have Crystal Sword Cecil.
It's annoying, but, like, the spot does have 3,000 health.
Yeah, the spot's not unhealthy. It's pretty wild. But yeah, so MuchParanoia does drop some imps, is going to get a rat tail. Which we know is our moon access. Not terribly interested in Evil Wall. I don't know if anybody is terribly interested in Evil Wall at this point. 67 speed Evil Wall is an exciting experience in getting your party crushed.
Absolutely. And by that I mean absolutely crushed. Wow, Mecha's not even going to turn in the rat tail. It's going to go diving into the tower first.
Paranoia making the plays here. Mechalink is going to add on... Nope, not.
Oh, sorry.
Yep.
Reverse the names.
The Mechalink is not adding on Porum here. Has decided that maybe Porum is just not good enough for this party. Sir Iridia. The white mage 2/3 of the time. We still need a Twin Heart. We still need Original Flavor Myelin. And we still need the Queen of the Skies. Well, the other Queen of the Skies. Maybe we'll need Wyvern 2. Maybe we'll need to kill Wyvern True Queen of the Skies. Who knows? There's still a lot to go yet here, 37 minutes into this seed.
I am your seed rollers tonight for the questions in chat about who rolled this seed.
It's pushing a button and has no influence on the RNG.
Yes. Yes, that's what we tell ourselves.
It doesn't mean it. It means nothing.
So we're going to have a bit of a high-fiving in the Tower of Babel here with the Octomam fight at the top.
Yep. Again, we still need to hunt down a harp, so... Octomom attempts to hurt Cecil. Fails miserably. Fails slightly less miserably that time.
But with the low health on the other characters, looks like we're going to have some cover strats here. And unfortunately, Octomam is actually resistant to Holy. So Cecil doesn't do as good damage here as Edge does. And we're going to see Edge get berserked instead. This also means that Cecil will be able to continue to cover the rest of the party. And this spot is no joke on XP as well, so keeping these characters alive at this point is pretty relevant.
Yeah, Edge is gonna make... This is a lot of hit points in this spot, too, because it's the Dr. Lugai spot, and you get all 3 of those enemies worth of hit points. So it's a little bit of work to get through this spot.
Looks like Mechalink's strategy is hold A. As, even Rydia is doing melee attacks here instead of going for the virus.
Let's see if it speeds up the fight in here. And it's a long fight, though. It's a safe fight.
Okay, there's the Leviathan cast.
Yeah, it looks like Mechalink just wanted to hold A to get those tentacles knocked down, just to get the speed of the spot down.
That makes sense.
One Octomammoth in the dumpster for Paranoia.
And we get an Earth Crystal out of that. It's unfortunate that there's no character hunting in this objective set because Earth Crystal is prime for looking for characters, but it's kind of slow. There are 2 boss fights up there, and one of our lovely 3 remaining bosses that we're looking for could be there. 2 remaining bosses.
Yeah, and we have the Darkness Crystal, and there's half a dozen bosses on the moon and 7 key item spots. We also haven't done Dwarf Castle yet. Both are runners still running on Young Rydia here. We find the Karate Man. What are you doing here? Aren't you supposed to be stopping the destruction of the dwarves?
Well, now we know why Super Ken and Yang got hurt. Because we beat him up.
And then we left him in there while the room exploded. Free Enterprise players, we're awful.
Mechalink finishing his own Octomam fight, keeping everyone alive. And picking up his own Earth Crystal. We're about to see what the item from clearing the super cannon is once MuchParanoia leaves the tower.
Yep, things still continue to be interesting here. Again, still hunting 1 key item. Old school crystal hunt still in play here.
And the key item here is simply a glass mask. Could come in handy for some moon boss cover strats with Cecil.
Yep, plus 30 physical defense. Absolutely no evasion, interestingly enough, and absolutely no magic defense at all, but just an absolute chunk of physical defense. Dust Minion saying, I would not wear a helmet made of glass. It's interestingly enough, it's actually supposed to be obsidian, which is also not terribly tough, but that's kind of how it goes.
Looks like we've got a bit of a freebie boss in the Calabrana crystal room.
It's not...
With the king and queen.
Yep, still not required, but hey, you know, we'll take freebies. I mean,
could be still looking for that twin harp. MuchParanoia still hasn't found that darkness crystal either, so still looking for that as well.
Very true. Mechalink, we're still chasing bosses, and these bosses are easy, so doing easy things before hard things seems to be the MO for both of our runners here. It seems like they're really starting to converge pretty tightly here. Not much of a separation between our two runners at this point.
Yeah, with the amount of time it'll take Paranoia to fly up and pick up that rat tail item, that pretty much like accounts for most of the time lead in terms of how far ahead they are in these particular boss fights.
Yep, and so the big thing here is that it's going to be a lot down to, do they decide on Earth Crystal? Do they decide to split the house and just go Moon? Do we decide to get the best mage of them all?
Oh, I'm getting benched.
Sometimes you just need the day off, it's fine. With full power, basically full power Fusoya here. Fusoya is about to nuke his little cousin. Goodbye, nephew.
It's not very often that you see someone take out DKC via damage.
I mean, not a lot of hit points in that spot. Just decides to just uncork the big magic. Leave nothing to chance. Yeah, Mechalink is going to have a decision on who to get rid of here, because Fusoya is Fusoya at this point. We've crushed so many bosses.
That's a legend sword here. This is unfortunately not the Forge the Crystal objective set, so that is not really anything special other than that Fusoya.
The special thing about that is that if Para does decide to go, say, maybe turn in a rat tail and go get a darkness crystal, that'll be key item number 10.
That is interesting, because Para's actually ahead of by a sand ruby here
nope,
as well.
No, Mecha did grab the sand ruby from down below in...
Okay, it's not marked on the tracker.
Yep, just did not take the character. Decided against taking Horum.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay.
Yep.
That makes sense. Sells the glass mask in favor of a ninja sword. That is one way to use it.
Just has decided that DPS is the way to go.
It absolutely is.
You know what they say, right? Paste can't fight back. If you leave your enemies a finely chopped dust, then, well...
Where's Para going? Oh, Para's going to go by a couple minutes, I guess, for...
Para maybe stocking up?
Moon shenanigans.
Para doesn't know that Moon shenanigans are on the table yet here.
Probably wants to be prepared. But, oh, no,
no,
maybe
he's
going to look at the
first boss. We're going to get a first boss check here. Para gambling a little bit. We know the second boss is a dud. It was a blue cloak. We do not know if this is required or not, and if it's required, Paranoia is going to be a very, very happy runner. If it's not, Mechalink is going to open up a bit of a lead here.
I'm kind of looking down at the timer. It's going to take about almost 2 minutes to check this. Has Demus been found? No, it has not. So that is another relevant boss that's out there that could be up here.
Yeah, we have not found Twin Harp yet. So we do have the possibility of this being a 5-boss hunt if Demus is blocking up the Twin Harp here. But Mechalink about to send his heroes off into space.
How haunted is this moon? We will find out.
Next time on Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise. We're not actually cutting the stream.
We'll be back with you after this short cutscene. It is the elements there.
That's 25% Volvalis by volume.
You get to see the Volvalis sprite, but it's not what you're looking for. And then Para goes and picks up that hovercraft. Teddy Phoenix in chat with you. Listen, I killed a Volvalis. I did what you said.
Baka Shinobi just double checking. Neither has checked the Earth Crystal yet, so we're going to see if Paranoia stays Earthbound or decides to go on up. We know Earth Crystal's kind of slow, but we'll see.
Yeah, and both of our runners are at 10 key items because Mechalink picked up that Legend Sword from the Dwarf Castle. Finds Tella. Not going to get a seat on this party.
You mean Bad Fusoya?
Bad Fusoya. Look, sometimes a bad Fusoya is still what you need because he can still cast weak.
Yeah, the old man can let you grind D machines if you've got a bunch of ethers in your pack. But we've already got Fusoya. We've already got a party.
Mechalink turning back around, going back down?
Intriguing.
Was that a miss? Was that supposed to be grab the steering wheel instead of the crystal?
We'll see in a second. No.
Doesn't look like it.
No, is this an Earth Crystal go? Yeah, decides to check the character first. I guess looking for Rosa, maybe.
Looking for Rosa, or maybe a second copy of Cecil would be nice. But
a second copy of Cecil would be pretty boss, honestly.
Yep, still got that Excalibur floating around, right?
Yeah, Mechalink's gonna find nothing over here, but some good information that Sin Turtle is nowhere to be found.
Oh.
Oh, well.
Paranoia, on the other hand, we've got a French vanilla Volvalis.
Paid off. Time to make Cecil angry. And then AFK. But Mechalink making the same play. Mechalink is the length of the tower behind right now.
Interesting though that trip up and back is gonna effectively pass up the leads that Paranoia would have given up by going and checking that upper Babel spot.
It ends up being a little risky because this is 2 characters instead of 1. So if you were chasing a white mage, this was just the play straight up. And he's going to give up a little bit more of a lead. He's going to do some looting here, it looks like. He is going into the main armory here.
Noting that Mechalink still has Kane in the party, so like Kane still needs a good weapon.
Could have bought a fire sword in Dwarf Castle.
It's not a good weapon.
Does that not rate?
That Drain Spear is also not a good weapon.
Does that also not rate? Flame Spear?
Do you just put the Drain Spear on and make Kane your anchor? Oh no, he dropped Kane for Fu.
Okay. I'm speaking of white mages though.
Wow, yeah, here's the white mage.
Do you want to do you wish to upgrade to better white mage 2020? Well, keep
I
Porm.
wish to upgrade to better white mage.
Well, keep Porm in your party. No, we all know. We
Come
all.
on, I've seen your stream splash art. I know you love Rosa.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Also, in particular with a berserker party,
Yeah,
Rosa lets you go into Zeromus in at like the low 40s.
yeah. Like this is basically as soon as you get your other objectives done, you're done. And with
Yeah.
Volvalis off the table, we find Baigen here. Baigen's gonna taste the power of Quake. It looks like. Yeah, this makes a lot of sense. Rose is dead. This is why you have sirens. Rose is dead.
Yeah, kind of doesn't matter.
It really doesn't matter. But yeah, Mechalink is now racing up the tower here. Gonna see if Mecha decides to add on White Mage or not. Cecil guts Baigen, 3,000 damage. See you later, friend.
That crystal sword is really getting up there.
It's real sharp. But we still don't have a Twin Harp.
That we don't. That might be somewhere on the moon.
Which means bosses still have to die. You can't just splash check them and run on. We might still need key items too. It's just a heroin robe here.
Doesn't even take it.
Not a need for it, honestly.
All the shopping that they plan to do, unless there's some Bacchus wine show up somewhere.
I think Bacchus wines are off the table this seed.
Was Hummingway shop checked?
Yeah, I think Mecha checked it. I think it was blank.
Okay.
All right. Conjury of the Whale for MuchParanoia. Gamut mentioning life potions were there, so if we haven't bought life potions yet, that's a good find, honestly, but otherwise, pretty quiet.
Para going into their own cutscenes for the big whale.
Yep.
We'll pick up. Well, we'll see the Tela on the throne and undoubtedly skip it. Could decide that it's a better anchor than the like level 30-ish Sid.
Possibly. And then just kill.
Gambling on the value at Cave Bahamut. Not even looking at the Lunar Throne yet.
Value?
I like value.
I
Does anyone tonight like value? Wow. That was in fact a ditch of Rosa.
Mechalink really liking these non-white mage pet character parties here. Rosa gets sent to the bench. You could always go get her back if you made that mistake. Looks like Paranoia is not interested in whatever this Lunar Gleam is and decides to bail out.
I am still a little bit shocked at the leaving behind Rosa. That is not a common play you see. She's generally one of the highest priority characters people have.
Yeah, for a lot of runners, #1 priority, in fact. Para's going to stock up on life potions here just to make sure that they have enough. Baigen is about to have a very bad time.
Para checks their own Lunar Hummingway shop. And it's going to be going in and I didn't see what the I wasn't paying attention to what that Bahamut spot was.
It was a lunar spark. We did not see
Lunar
we did not see which lunar spark it is. Para decided to cast exit and just leave. We'll probably come back for it later, if necessary. If the
Yeah,
the Twin
that
Harp
is
and Mylan don't
fair,
turn up.
especially with like D-Lunar's kind of the only one that you're real happy in there.
Yep, Plague is okay there. Yeah, gonna take Tella. Tella's job is gonna be very simple here. Tella has one job.
Tell her do what you did in the original C4.
To die for our party.
Yes.
We're gonna drag around this dead old man. It's Final Fantasy IV for Enterprise.
That's Tell life for you.
Look, you can't miss any life spells if you're not casting it. Tella has never missed casting stop in anybody's Final Fantasy IV speedrunning history. It has never happened.
They're skipping that pale dim spot, going straight down below.
Let's see if Mechalink decides
Mechalink, hot on their heels.
Very tight race at this point in time. Paranoia has been nursing about a 1.5 to 2 minute lead the entire time here. It's been a little bit of up, it's been a little bit of down. Mechalink had a little bit of indecision that sort of has cost him a little bit of time here. But did get Volvalis out of the deal, so... Order of Ops on the moon might be very important, we shall see.
You know, we haven't seen yet.
With that.
Any siren. Oh, there they are. Pair of gold dragons.
Gonna put them on lockdown with this hourglass. Going to put Tella on lockdown. Gonna take advantage of Tella and food, a double week here.
I can't say I was expecting that, but it is the best way to deal with this fight, pretty much.
Yep, and then bats Tella around the head, neck, and shoulders with Edge, and Tella is incredibly dead. But yeah, that is a very fast way to do this fight. Double weeks and just blow through it. 180,000 experience points. Easy game. Demi
Rosa jumps to level 39.
Gonna get most of the important spells. I think one level shy of Cure 4.
Not only that, but getting very close to the spells that...
Nope, does get Cure
4. The HP totals.
It does get Cure 4 already.
I think Cure 4 is 38, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 38. I thought it was 40. It's float is 40 on Porum, excuse me. Well, we're at the hour mark. We're on the moon. We're grinding. Well, we're done. Para's done grinding. Para's like, I just need one. We're good.
Mechalink's gonna take a second.
Yeah, Mechalink has got two tiny children in party and needs.
Mechalink is also standing in front of the Murasame altar.
Yep. Oh, here it is. It's at Ribbon Spot. It's the invenerable special. Just go to the Ribbon Spot. It's got it. The Twin Harp's probably gonna be here too. Final required boss. I'll be really sad if Twin Harp is here. I'll be so sad. Tella gonna cast Virus on himself. Cecil is going to get very, very angry.
Yeah, these quad 9s from Cecil are going to be fun to watch, I gotta say.
Oof, just dumpsters that zombie.
So let's see what's here. Note that Mechalink has not saved after doing this grind. So this is a bit of a risk here if there's something scary at this Lunar Gleam. It is a vanilla Pale Dim.
Is this even vaguely shuffled?
That's my line.
MuchParanoia is going to microwave Mylan here. 6,000 damage,
No,
nukes.
you can't weak Pale Dim. You can only weak Dark Elf. I know they look the same. It's easy to get confused. But we are going to microwave it.
Microwave it, virus it. Get Cecil angry at it, I guess. God, Crystal Sword Cecil is so good.
Crystal Sword Cecil is absurd, especially with this relative agility 1 and Berserk. Is a very fast Cecil.
A very powerful Cecil. A very good and powerful Cecil here. We've got body checks. Goodbye, Mylan. Mylan gets it bodied.
Has a Masamune and a Baron Key. Well, those are both things you're pretty happy to see, I would say, but not that happy to see.
I mean, Baron Key opens up bosses that you don't need to kill, but it is a key item spot because we're still hunting for the Twin Harp.
It's 2 key item spots.
Oh, that's right. There's the Odin spot. But first, we're gonna make Edge. Edge was not powerful enough.
Yeah, unfortunately, we lose the
There's our Dragoon Lance, by the by. A little late for that.
A little late for that, indeed.
But Pale Dim goes
Kane
down.
got a weapon, but it's already been benched. I don't think anyone's going to be going back for Kane at this point.
Nope.
Mechalink exiting out after the Murasame altar and stepping out for that cabin.
Fusoya gets absolutely decked here. I don't think it really matters at this point. I think it's just make...
Everyone's getting decked.
I mean, this spot, it's the White Spear spot. This spot hits like a tractor trailer. Except, of course, Cecil is berserked with a Crystal Sword, so who cares? Who honestly cares at this point? Good lord.
And
just
nobody important was dead at the end of the fight.
And nothing of value was lost, and also Mom Bomb got absolutely trashed.
That's a spoon. We're going to see that thrown at something, I imagine.
Yep. Hitting Fu with that Soma drop. Parrot just heading straight on down. Afraid of nothing. I got a level 45 Rosa. I got a Cecil with, like, a Crystal Sword, back row glitch, full armor, 230 attack power.
Double checking agility on Tella.
Still dead.
Still dead. Still at 8 agility, the way you get his when you get him.
Oh, this is a little frightening. Odin's gonna do some damage in this spot.
You know who else is going to do some damage in this spot?
Oh, those are 5,000 point swings with the Crystal Sword.
Yeah, they are. I am not 100% sure that who wins this damage race, though. I think that in my position, I would have spoon right there.
Yeah, just go in and just dart the spoon for the extra 10 grand. Cecil
makes it through.
Cecil is the greatest character of all time.
The Odin ability is not going to hurt at this spot if Odin is pace. Resets out of it anyway.
Decides against. Saved the game after the Baron Key get. Discards the spoon. Decides against it.
Unfortunately, does not get the huge warp.
Or the 12,000 or the 120,000 points of experience that was also left behind with that pro ring.
I think I would have taken the XP, but
yeah, it's a little bit of safety there. You've already burnt the time. I don't know. It's a hard call. You save a few seconds resetting, right? And, you
Yeah.
figure if you're running against somebody who is real good, every moment counts. So
I guess I guess like the big calculation that I'm making in my head is, are those extra levels, like, are those worth a few seconds on these later fights?
do they get me through Zeromus? Do they get me
Like
through
this
Zeromus?
one.
Like this one? Do they get me through Zeromus faster? Tactics on this fight, generally speaking, it's going to be cast slow on the Mazer because you don't want to deal with as many laser beams, and then just cure your party up. The fight itself is free, right? Like, that's the big thing to note, is that this fight, it's very hard for a skilled runner to lose this fight. You have to basically fall asleep at the wheel. Or try to go for, like, you could go for really fast Berserk strats, and they're really unsafe.
You know, it's really good for this fight.
Throwing things.
Throwing things.
This is not a huge HP spot either, honestly, so...
It is not. It's only around 20,000 hit points on the, it's going to start charging a Meteo after doing around 10,000 damage. We will probably see that Meteo resolve.
Baron Key for Mechalink here. So Mechalink is doing the underside 3 bosses here. We'll see if Para's got the right damage numbers here or not.
Oh, Para's absolutely fine. In fact, that Meteo is a little on the slow side, I think.
Crystal Sword Cecil?
Yeah.
Oh, we've got swag. We've got maximum swag.
Swag rocks indeed. Clearing up that fight. That's pretty much the fight that Meteo is like... You're most happy to have a Meteo on that fight more than anyone else in the game.
Key to the Sealed Cave. Luca Key is in play here.
So we've got multiple chains open now.
We also have that one Lunar Gleam sitting over at Cave Bahamut. We have not seen the Big W. We have not seen Plague.
I think those are the only ones we're missing.
Para's doing it. Para is ditching. Oh, I love this play.
Ditching both the Bahamut fight, which is a Lunar Gleam.
And the Pale Dim spot, which we know is just Pale Dim.
Yep, but with 3 places to go on Earth.
We're looking maybe a quick stop in the in Luca Cave. We might be seeing the Baron Trash Can. We rolling them dice though. Just throwing it out there. Paranoia, I guess. Paranoia likes to metagame a little bit in terms of, just the game itself and just kind of this global sense that you don't leave the moon. So Paranoia's like, I got 2 checks, I'm out. So yeah, we don't know what's at the Bahamut Cave spot yet. We do not know at all what it is. We know everything else.
We do know that it's not demist.
We know it's not demist. We know Paranoia is 50% good. Firebird Lover asking, did Paranoia leave the save on the moon? Honestly, it doesn't matter. Because if it was the play, you're host anyhow.
Yeah. If it's at the Bahamut spot, Para will have decided to do that last.
Para will if it's at the Bahamut spot on the moon, Para has already lost this race. It does not matter. Para is gambling on 3 checks, beating 2 checks at this point, and one being a free double, being a free check of the item before you even do the boss. I think Para's save number 1 is a moon save anyway, but we've got Mechalink is fighting Odin here. Mechalink is doing some really good damage at this point in time. But up goes the sword.
It is worth noting that Mechalink's Palom also knows Nuke at this point after...
Oh no!
That.
Para
does have that save there. Resets back to the moon.
Para wanted the free check there, but no boss check. Oh no.
This is a weird turnabout.
We are in full roll the dice mode here. The spice is flowing right now. As our runners are about...
I think Para might have thought that his save was outside of Sealed Cave, but on the Earth, as opposed to back on the moon. But it's like, oh, my save is back on the moon. Well, like,
this making it look intentional. I don't know. I do not know.
Para is still a little bit ahead, even on the first route, though.
Yeah.
Engaging the last boss on the moon before Mechalink engaged his last boss on the moon, or at least in Lunar Subterrane. Neither of them have gone to this. Para's Foo is real low on the magic. This is the last nuke in his magazine.
Para has not even been like resting at inns trying to save resources here.
No, or using cabins for that matter, even though he has a stack of 10.
Absolutely. This seed has just started to degenerate slowly but surely. It's not like our runners are not powerful enough to just crush it, but
the decisions have gotten a little well done.
We're starting to go down that road. Mechalink's like, I'm done with orbs here.
A little bit of second guessing.
Mechalink is just done with orbs. Mechalink has decided to skip this fight. We know it's a blank. We know Lukaki is nothing. Well, we don't know Lukaki is nothing. We did not see the boss. So, Lukaki is something, potentially.
But that does put Mechalink in front in terms of exiting the Lunar Subterrane.
Yep.
Albeit one check behind, that check being null. Or at least the key item in the check being null.
All right, so here we go. We've got MuchParanoia gonna go ahead and check the Cave Bahamut. Mechalink is bailed for the Baron Key. This is a Baron Key check at this point. 2 checks here.
This is the check I was expecting to see out of Para 5 minutes ago.
It's a long check though. Like it's
a long check, but it's 2.
It's a lot. Oh man, the gambles are real here. This is getting... I don't know where this is going right now. This is amazing. All the bosses necessary are down. Mist Dragon still at large. Twin Harp still at large. We are crystal hunting like our lives depended upon it at this point. The Lunar Gleam is a wyvern.
Is this Starveil going off in time? It is not.
It is not. Edge is toast. Everyone's toast. 5,000 damage to your party. It's been a joy and a pleasure. See you later, friends.
Gonna go back for seconds.
Oof. This could be the tide turner for Para. This could get them in trouble. Certain runners know banging your head on certain bosses because you can is probably not always the best idea. It's a hard lesson to learn. Para doing a little bit of prep. We've got Leviathan.
Turns down the battle speed.
Yeah, gonna try and make sure that it happens here. Gonna slow down Edge a little bit. I'm gonna try.
Speed up Foo. Looks like the Starveil goes off in time, yeah. With the lower battle speed and a good run buffer.
Yeah, easily gets it there. Demist could be in the Giant still. We could still be... Thankfully, Wyvern's very slow in this spot, so just raises the party up here and is just going to try and work over Wyvern pretty quickly.
I don't know if very slow is the word I would use, but he's not, like...
No, this spot's...
So dangerously fast that,
Yeah, this spot's pretty pathetically slow. Our second Palom has shown up today in the Baron Castle.
But what is the item in the trash can?
Has it come down to this at this point? Has it come down to, is it behind Wyvern?
If it's behind Wyvern, then, well,
If it's behind Wyvern, Para's gonna probably take this down. If it is not in the trash bin,
well, then we still have the Odin spot, and we still have a Mist Dragon lurking somewhere. That's a pass. You're not sad to see it. It saves about 2.5 minutes.
yeah, keeping you on Earth here as well. I mean, you didn't want to go back for this spot anyway. And if you had to go back for this spot, well, you done lost the race anyway. Down goes the Queen, sitting in the King's throne. Here we go. What do we got?
It is a Twin Harp!
Wow, bring
Para
on the value!
Para is effectively in go mode. Needs to go do that. Value in Cave Bahamut.
No,
After all that.
no Mist Dragon Hunt tonight, everybody. We're a little sad about that, but Paranoia is going to give us the most important check of them all. Not just
The
because
music check?
not just because it's objective number 5. Wyvern, Twin Harp. All Para needs to do now is remember to kill Tella. Para is flying the whale to Toroya. Because needs
Crush
to get
that town.
because gonna go ahead and kill off the dark elf spot boss. Gonna play us some music. Gonna run back to the whale, which is
At this point, it's actually like Paris still has to fly back to the moon after this.
Yeah.
So it is absolutely correct.
Oh yeah, no, you park it there. There's a Zeus Gauntlet from Ruby.
Zeus Gauntlet consolation prize, and not worth hiking that back out of Baron. Cannot cast exit in the castle.
Nope. Mechalink is gonna go back to a moon save. Yeah, goes back to the orbs. Gonna go back to the orb save. Reconsidering orbs. Thinking about orbs. Pops a cabbage.
Well, going back to the moon turns out to be necessary, but it's not these orbs you're looking for.
But he is going to go ahead and defeat these orbs fairly handily.
Yeah. Honestly, like this is something that I'm going to say again. This is the best fight to throw the spoon on in the game. That's my opinion, but like you're getting your damage cut because the CPU is in the back row of the monster formation.
Fusoya does not have enough MP to virus himself here. Just gonna pop a kamikaze.
That works. A little faster animation too.
Yep. Down goes Fusoya. Well, friends, it's time for the most important, the greatest scene of them all.
The music.
Moment of silence for Edward. He's still injured.
Meanwhile, on the right side, something I didn't realize, that the Globe 99s here are not. We did get our Mist Dragon after all.
Did you need to fight this? No. Are you gonna fight it? Sure. It was not necessary. The whole check was to play the music. But you can't really leave. The door's locked. You do have to fight the spot. The door is locked behind you when you start the scene, so it's fine. You don't need to take the item. The item is the other possibility. Is you have to take the item. Mechalink adds on the Luca key. Is gonna go check the Luca key. We know it's nothing. Para remembers to off. Para does remember to off tele here. The item is the package, which we don't need, but we found it.
Why was Demas blocking, like guarding the package? What is Demas doing with that package?
Trying to stop his town from being destroyed. What else? What else would Demas do?
Mechalink grabbing that Luca key, immediately going to check Sealed Cave. Still hasn't gone to check to see if there's value at Cave behind. But yeah, Para's definitely hoping for a pass. In lieu of a pass, you can also hope for like something like a Stardust Rod.
Yeah, it's worth checking. It takes mere seconds. You don't check the Rydia spot though. Rydia's mom can stay there.
We already know Sealed Cave has Adamant, so we know that this is going to be a bust for Mechalink.
Yep, and we know it's not Miss Dragon. So yeah, this Mechalink is just Mechalink slid a little bit behind, had a chance to catch up, but was gonna basically required him to full moon without leaving and chose not to, and so here we stand. We got a couple minutes to hype it up at this point, because Para's got the long walk down.
It is a long walk down before we get to find out whose butt we're kicking.
But
I am a little curious to see what this boss was in Sealed Cave, if Mechalink remembers to check for Demas.
I'm trying to think who's left. I think it's probably Mega Sisters. We haven't seen them.
We haven't seen Mega Sisters. We haven't seen
Plague
Water Hag / Fabul Gauntlet. We haven't seen Plague, but we know that Plague is Leviathan.
Yep. By process of elimination, so...
See?
The flags are out, friends. It is time.
It is time to ask the question that we ask every free Enterprise seed.
How much damage is Cecil going to do with that crystal sword to Zeromus?
That's not the question we ask every seed. We only ask that when we have a crystal sword, and usually the answer is around 5,000.
Usually the answer is all of it. Hey, look, the Mega Sisters.
It is the Mega Sisters.
God, I'm so good at
That's
this.
a pretty scary fight to have the Mega Sisters on.
Yeah, great. We don't have to fight it. Let's just leave. That spot's very fast and does a pretty significant amount of magic damage. So the Mega Sisters can just tear up your party if they're targeting correctly. Oh, it is time for a little bit of preparation. We've got level 48 rows of 2,200 hit points. Decently geared. Mechalink is chasing value now. Would still have to take this Twin Harp down home and then play it, but this is the last check.
Let's see if Mechalink can one-shot this boss, because much better. Mechalink does get the Star Veil off in time.
Yep. Only the one, but it's gonna be enough. I always forget how long this walk is down to Lunar Subterrane. Even with
There's a reason I wasn't kidding about 2.5 minutes.
Rydia reflecting nukes off of Edge to deal damage to Wyvern here, just to speed this fight along.
Well, Edge is still wearing that veil, so
Yep.
it's a good call.
But it looks like we're probably going to see one very angry Cecil and one very angry Edge versus one very dead Zeromus here.
Question in chat, how powerful is Bahamut's spell power? About 4,000 to 6,000 damage with the Mega Nuke.
Yep. One of the lower spots, certainly. Doesn't instantly cremate your party.
Well,
Well, it does, but you're slightly less cremated than in other spots.
Slightly less cremated than quad nines.
Alright, Crystal goes out. Fusoya channeling Berserk on Cecil, so we've got a great little start here. This is where we want to be. Who we got, Sil?
Who do we have indeed? His true colors emerge.
Little Kingdom Hearts action here.
We have an Organization 13 fight.
This sprite is amazing.
Sprite is something, alright. A lot of these like collective sprites are just real special. Tail is actually going to be useful here and cast slow.
Yeah. While otherwise, the rest of the party is just going to town.
This is the first shake. Berserks are up on both melee fighters already.
Yeah. I like Para's chances here.
I like Para's chances here too.
I like them a little less if Edge goes down, but not like so much less that it matters at all.
Gonna try and get a cure, rip out a cure 4 on Edge before this Big Bang goes. It resolves, so Edge will be fine.
Yeah, everybody. It's just Rose is not even here to be a healer. Rose is here to cast Holy and destroy bosses.
Fortunately, not even doing that much damage with the Holy, barely doing more Cecil's melees.
First Big Bang out, but Cecil's already done like 1 trillion damage at this point. Tella dies.
Raise your hand if you're surprised.
Salute your sacrifice, sir. Down he goes. Just
mechalink having a nice little time save there of getting into that Dark Elf spot with everybody having some form of metallic gear on, immediately having the perished screen pop up.
Yep. Yeah, I think we've got the skip of the we've got the health refill already here for the Big Z.
Yeah, we will not be seeing the second Big Bang there.
At least not for a little while yet.
Looks like Para made a quick check for some ethers, because Fu is getting pretty low on MP at this point.
Para was burning ethers just to get through fights more quickly.
Yeah, and like we talked earlier about Para's refusal to use cabins, even though they have them.
It saves a little bit of time though. Like
it does. That cabin animation is long. It's like a good 10-15 seconds.
Yeah. So Mechalink is going to get the crystal at 1 hour and 30 minutes here. I mean, little does he know that MuchParanoia is just busy dissecting these members of Orc 13 one at a time.
Each one has around 7,000 health, so Cecil can... you figure the boss has 100,000 health, so each one has about 7,000 health. Cecil can almost one-shot one each time he swings.
They nuke Fusoya's wall.
I love seeing that. That is beautiful. That is always beautiful.
Everything's coming up Paranoia at this point.
Para's put down the controller, just waiting for the Berserker to deal with this.
Probably has the dot done typed in already. It's just hanging out waiting.
There's this Big Bang. That's a little scary.
That's a little scary. Yeah, this is not great.
Not topped off. Oh, it was weakened, apparently.
It was nerfed by the crystal. The timing, just styling at this point.
That is some real style points.
Just full styling. Goodbye, Orc 13. It's been nice seeing you, friends.
Question in chat, why did Fusoya use the crystal? It was to nerf the Big Bang.
Congratulations, though. Too much paranoia at this point in time. A crash and a boom, a crack and a bang, 1 hour and 31 minutes and 29 seconds. Moving on.
Mechalink heading down to his own zone.
Mechalink had the pass, didn't he?
Yeah, Mechalink did have the pass, does have the... No, Mechalink reset out of the pass because Mechalink reset back to the moon.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, reset out, no pass.
I don't love that play.
Neither do I, but...
I mean... Granted, walking down to the Wyvern spot is pretty much just as slow as walking down to Zeromus, so, like, Mechalink was thinking it's like, oh, I skipped the Wyvern spot and that was a bad gamble. Returning to the moon via the save on the moon next to Wyvern spot.
Yep.
Okay, I guess I don't hate it entirely.
And, of course, while Mechalink gives us the long walk home to finish this seed on his end, we are joined by our winner, our Hummingway Open champion, as started this season off right with a win. MuchParanoia, congratulations!
Thank you.
So, how are you feeling about seeing 4 boss hunts in the Harp?
I wasn't expecting the harp to be the one that was like eluding me the entire seed. To be honest. You can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. I don't know, it just seems like runners kind of hate boss hunts these days, but I don't know, you navigated it pretty well, all things considered, including a second try Wyvern.
Oh, the first try is usually a mulligan. He just goes like, fire from the skies. I'm like, alright, well, she. And I'm just like, alright, I'll die.
Alright, I'll die. Get Cooped is asking, we have to know, did you mean to reset back to the moon after your Luca key check? Did you mean to skip Baron?
Yes, actually.
Interesting.
My thought process was, Baron is a little bit slower than Luca key, and it's 2 bosses, and I'd rather just go clean out the moon first, than go back to Baron.
I'm a little surprised, but the logic is sound.
Yeah, the play is good. I mean, can't really argue with your play there. Other than that Wyvern drop, I think you were wiped free the entire run. I mean, Crystal Sword Cecil will do that, but you still have to have the wherewithal to take on some tough bosses and some tough spots.
I'm also pretty glad I just looked at Evil Wall and Asura and went like, you know what, you stay there.
It is a incredibly dangerous fight, no matter what your DPS is, unless you're like completely like end gamed out. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Honestly, a lot of your plays just made a lot of sense. Fading tough bosses, you know, a little bit of resetting around, which you know a lot of players will do, which is always interesting. So just a lot of intriguing plays and just kind of showing off a lot of things that you can do.
The reason I chased Earth Crystal was because I went up tower and thought, you know, I got this stupid rock from that tower and went like, it better be worth something. And it kind of was.
I mean, it got you Volvalis, which was strictly necessary.
Were there any particular like decision points in the game that you weren't confident that you were making the right decision?
Not really. I popped the you know, the whatchamacallit, the hovercraft real early, just so I could go see who that character was. Found it was Edge. Felt real good about that. And so we went to turn in the Pinktail as well. Picked up the Excalibur, and it's like, okay, I'm going up Ordeals, and then I'll go pick up Cecil because the other way around is slower.
Interesting.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, because you're right next to Ordeals.
Yeah, it was like right next to Ordeals, and you have that little extra cutscene if you have Cecil in the party.
Oh.
All right, so we have.
Hadn't actually thought about the cutscene. It
Yeah.
looks like
Mechalink setting up for reflect strats here.
Mechalink does look like he's setting up for a reflect kill.
Right, speaking though, Rydia in bad shape here already. Mechalink not taking any white mages at all this seed.
Yeah, with no Cure 3s in the inventory either. So this could get a little dicey.
Yeah, the closest thing you've got to a white mage is Fusoya or Cecil making hands.
Does
Cecil,
have some Ether 2s.
I mean, the Crystal Sword does give you white magic casting stat.
This is also true.
Oh, I will also make one other
Oh.
note.
Yep.
Character
Unlucky.
choice.
Unlucky Big Bang roll with the weakened Big Bang on Ridge, still doing 1100 and dropping her. The Cure 2 came off. At this point, you're kind of on a time limit for that. This Reflect kill.
He's gonna just toss an Excal as well here, trying to just push damage at this point.
All right. Anyway, you were saying, Mecha?
Para.
All right,
I-
Para.
The reason why I made some character choices this seed.
You did.
Or-
Dropping Kane was the most interesting, I think.
Oh, I just didn't have any good gear for him.
Yeah, I know. We noticed.
So I was just like, I was looking at my party and going like, who is the least useful member here? And it was Kane.
That is a valid call.
Oh no.
Big
Something
Bang.
going real bad for Mechalink with the counter nuke directly in the Big Bang, dropping Fusoya.
And that's a black hole. There's a nuke being channeled at Cecil right now.
Uh-oh.
Pay respects to Cecil, because
This fight is going real pear-shaped.
this fight has gone fully upside down at this point.
I don't even know how you recover this.
You hit reset as fast as you can, probably. This is just a spot to be in right now. No white mage to help with the recovery either.
Yeah, no Cure 3s, no White Mage. Didn't res Fu there.
Oh yeah, the other thing. I ditched Iridia for Fu entirely because that's a new caster I don't have to grind up.
That's true.
And I ditched Porim for Rosa because I figured one gold dragon fight would get her up to Cure 4, which is all I needed.
Yep, which 180,000 experience points. Party gets dropped. Mechalink takes a wipe on Zeromus here. Tough party comp to do this with, though.
Yeah, I'm not sure I love going for the Reflect strat with only 3 casters and no White Mages.
And
It's
Cecil packing.
extremely tight.
And
And
Cecil,
Cecil's packing the Crystal Sword, so it's like you're leaving those Berserk strats on the table.
yeah, it's a lot of DPS that you're leaving behind. Cecil's gonna be swinging for an easy 4-5k here. But, it's tough. Like, Reflect strats are great. It's just, I don't know. It's real hard to ignore the power of Crystal Sword Cecil.
It's also real hard to ignore the raw speed of a properly executed Reflect party. That said, like, you have Rosa in this group, like, instead of Edge, if you're really dedicated to the Reflect kill, like, because it's not like you need 2 melee characters when you've got a Cecil. So I could actually see justifying, like, if you really like this Reflect strat,
Just
maybe you keep Rosa.
yeah, selling out for it, like a Penguinator would. Like, you just sell out for it. Just go, like, you have 1 melee for cleaning up bosses, maybe.
Well, when it's Crystal Sword Cecil, you do.
Well, yeah, because Crystal Sword Cecil just cleans up most of the bosses beforehand by you cast Berserk on Cecil, and then you just use Cecil for your Star Veil. It's just real hard. But Para, the one thing I'm real interested in, you just were not using cabins on the moon. You were not stopping. Fusoya is sitting on like 70 MP the entire time.
And I'm just sitting there going like, that's fine.
That's fine. I've got 1 Ether 2 to give to Fusoya. I just will reset to keep all that MP and, like, not even keep this 120k XP that I got from the Ogopogo spot.
Well, the thing there is, cabins are slow. Resetting fast.
God, Sil, that's what you said. I didn't believe you at first. I didn't believe you when you said cabins are slow. That's why they're not getting used.
Like,
But-
I had them if they were strictly necessary for me to keep doing moon stuff, but they weren't.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
This
yeah.
time, Mecha's going to go with just berserking up this Crystal Sword Cecil, dropping a Silk Web with Edge.
So yeah, going true hybrid strats here, letting the fire from the sky fly.
6.3k out of Cecil.
Flex.
Yeah.
Fusoya catching the nuke in return here, but Fu, of course, always has some pretty good gear to start with. Sorcerer Shirt, Wizard Hat, Lunar Staff, so...
Also has a fair bit more max HP than Rydia last time, who died to that counter nuke plus Big Bang.
Yeah. But this time, though, the DPS is just coming hot and heavy here. Nukers are just fine. Cecil is doing what Cecil do.
Edge is going to throw an Excalibur.
Also, that last command on Zermus, I was hovering on Rosa just because I wanted to cast a Cure 4 after that Big Bang, just in case rocks followed.
We were a little scared because Rosa was chilling on 1500 HP.
Yeah, you had that perfectly timed.
That was, I was worried that the weakening wasn't timed, that it would just wipe your party.
Yeah, no, that was perfect. Just putting a big old exclamation point on the seed for you. Not a lot of runners go for nerfs on Big Bangs these days. And now it's just clean.
And the cherry on top was the reflect off of Fu.
Yeah, just everything coming up your way. But speaking of reflex here, Cecil, 6k, no big deal. 3 nukes rolling. Out comes the spoon. Out comes another nuke from the Quake Kid himself. We're definitely through the refill here, so...
Yeah, we might not see the next Big Bang if all this damage comes out. Yep, there's Rydia.
Rocks.
There's rocks. We're there. Mechalink's gonna make it on through, it looks like.
Rydia dodging this, dodging the rocks will probably finish the fight with this nuke, or maybe one more swing.
I heard Crystal Sword Cecil is good. Yep, Crystal Sword Cecil is going to take it home for Mechalink this evening.
Final SRL official time of 1:44:17.
Oh, good GG to Mechalink, finishing strong here. Getting on through the party here, you know, just a couple tough breaks, a couple tough bounces, and that is all it takes.
Yep.
But yeah, that is kind of where the way that the ball bounces here. Certainly, we are going to see if we can get Mechalink in here for an interview to get his take on what has occurred tonight. And yeah, so Paranoia. Any other thoughts about this at this point in time? Now that you're 1-0, do you feel like you're a proven commodity now with your title under your belt and now a win in a major competition?
We'll actually see about that. I still have the jitters near the end of the seed. As soon as I got that twin harp, I'm like, oh. That
is very valid. I mean, that's how it goes when you're chasing one item and it comes out of a really oddball spot. It is tough. It's kind of how it goes, though.
Alright, do we have a word for...
We have word for Mechalink. I'm waiting on word from Mecha now. We're pinging Mechalink in a couple of different spots.
Oh, Para, I did have one more question.
Oh yeah.
when you were checking Sealed Cave, you didn't
Mhm.
check the boss. Did you realize you didn't look for that Genius?
Yes, and I reset. As soon as I reset, I'm like, wait, I should have saw who the boss was, and then was not punished for it. So,
you were
you know.
not, but
So it's okay, but I should have checked.
exactly. We've certainly seen it in that exact mistake decide other races. So.
I
A little bit of background noise coming from Mecha here.
yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, that would solve it.
Well, GG mechalink.
Yeah.
GG.
GG's Paranoia.
GG's.
There was a lot of synchronization and then resynchronization going on in this race.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
The biggest difference towards the end, you audibled out of the orbs.
Yep.
And went to check Baron.
Yep.
When Para left Moon, Para was leaving behind the Paled In spot and Bahamut instead of the Orbs and Bahamut spot, but only checked Sealed Cave, whereas you went to Baron Key. You actually didn't have the Luca key there. You know, Baron Key takes a lot of time. On the other hand, it's like you've got 2 spots versus 2 spots, and
Yeah, I mean, it's basically so we like if it's in Baron Key, right? Like I have to take a trip back to Earth anyway, no matter what, right? So if it's Baron Key, right, like those 2 spots are kind of better than the 2 moon spots that I had remaining, or like in a lot of ways. But of course, if it doesn't work, it's way worse. Yeah, I don't know. I like the Baron play. I much less like what I did with Luca Key, but
That's kind of how it goes, though. Like,
Mhm.
you know, the big thing is the thing is that you just needed to. The funny thing is that you didn't know, but you just needed to play it straight to have the best chance there. Just full clear moon.
yeah. I mean,
You can't see the future though. Can't make those predictions.
nope. No, you can't. No, you can't. You promised me a tough seed and you lied. You lied.
It was tough because it tested your patience.
I don't feel that, like, I think that Paranoia's 130, right, like, is not a tough seed, right? Like, I think that if you a 130 on these flags is essentially like a situation normal, nothing is trolley seed, right? Like,
I believe Para's only wipe was a single wipe on wipe speed 1,
Yeah.
and just went back in with like battle speed at 3 or whatever and cleared it.
yeah,
Then forgot to change my battle speed back.
yeah, as
Oops.
do we all. No, I mean, I felt really good about things, right? Like, and then when we got like Mylon on the moon, I'm like, okay, right, like, great, right? Like, now we just need to find Twin Heart, right? And like, I essentially had in my mind that, like, if I saw Baron Key, I was gonna, jump out.
One thing I want to say, we actually saw both of you before going up to the moon, Crystal in hand. Both of you chose that kind of slow Tower of Zot.
Mhm.
It paid off. Why did you make that play though? That's a little bit. Granted, with boss hunts, I can understand it, but I want to go. I want to know what you thought.
Boss hunts is exactly why. We have multiple outstanding bosses at that point. And an outstanding key item, right? Like, we needed to find Twin Heart, right? Like, so 2 key items and 2 bosses seems like, right? Like, admittedly, it's a little slow, but what are you going to do that's better?
One key
Right.
item and 2 bosses, but yeah.
And as I noted earlier, I went up that tower because I didn't want that Earth Crystal to be completely useless and Tower to be completely useless.
Oh, you meant Tower of Zot. Sorry, I thought you meant Tower of Babel. Yeah, no. So,
I mean, the question kind of goes for both things, for both places.
right. So for
Like,
Zot,
maligned places that
Right, so note that for Zot, I went up to the moon to establish what the character situation was and to establish we didn't have Bacchus wines. Because at that point, it was essentially like, do I have Berserk strats or do I have Mage strats? Like Mage/Hybrid strats. Right, so I went up to the moon, found Tella, and was like, okay, right, and no Bacchus. And I was like, okay, it's clear what's going on here, right? Like we ditch the melee fighters, we have 3 mages, right? Like that is the plan. Right. And so then, right, like going to Zot, right, like made the party happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so 2 bosses, right, like plus essentially like getting rid of the dead weight party member I had, right, like,
Yeah, we did not see an upgrade to either. Neither of you had an gear on Kane until after both of you ditched Kane.
Yep. I mean, I was totally fine with that, right? Like I was ready to ditch Kane like as soon as I saw anything go better, and like I said, like going to the moon let me know, like, okay, right, like this is what's happening here, and this is what you have to do, right? Like, so that's kind of that fed into Zot for me.
Other than like not choosing the right key item places to check at the end, like, are there any mistakes that you feel you?
Trying to think. I mean, it took me longer than a half second to realize that I could kill imps there when I ran into them.
And Para actually left without killing the imps there, and I really liked that play of yours, Mecha.
Well, if you didn't have hourglasses, I would agree, right? Like, because I didn't know. Had you done Eblin by that time?
I had done Evelyn by that time,
Okay.
but the reason I left is, while I had hourglasses, I didn't have enough coffins just to make it like trivial.
Mm-hmm. I had 2 coffins, and like 2 coffins and frog, right? Like, and so we just
I had not thought of
sucker.
that frog spell, and I was real happy to see that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, 2 coffins, and I was like, okay, like I was thinking the entire time I was using the coffins, like my damage isn't great, right? Like we need to have a status spell. I'm like, what are the status spells? And then I'm like, wait, yeah, Rydia, we don't have size, we have frog, right? Like, and so yeah, that was, that helped speed up that last kill, and yeah, it just didn't. That one didn't pay off, and I assume we both left door there.
Yep.
Yeah, you both left door there.
yeah,
Nobody looked back.
I hadn't even healed, right? Like, so I was all at once, right? Like, and so my brain was like, you're not fighting this no matter what. And then I saw imps, I'm like, oh, good, imps. And I took like 6 steps back towards, and then wait. Right, like, no, I can just kill those. Like, it's fine. Right, like, I just need the hourglass timing to go correctly, right? Like, just have to activate hourglass and not get that character killed, and the fight's over.
Yeah, I mean, you were absolutely gonna get one shot no matter what. Like, you were
Right.
milling for like
You're still
3
getting one
grand.
Yeah, exactly. That's what like the one health just didn't matter, right? Like, so it just took me longer than it should have to realize it. But it's minor things like that, right? Like, until the end, like, I feel really good about kind of what went down, and it sounds like we were very close, right?
You're
Like,
very close. I want to say that there were like a lot of little places that like Pero might have been edging just like seconds on you doing the same thing.
Yeah. If the thing is that you had a couple of moments where if you had decided to like really sell out on a decision that you might have been able to get back ahead, but I think that was the big thing, is that you were a little bit more skittish about your play, and that makes all the difference sometimes.
I'll have to watch to see exactly what you mean there, because it didn't feel that way, but maybe comparing the 2, I'll see it.
Yeah, it really helps that like there were so many resyncs that happened, and it was just like Para was just like one or two tasks like ahead of you in the mid game, like after about an hour.
Yeah,
sure.
It wasn't much, but it was enough.
Yeah.
So, any final thoughts from the 2 of you at this point?
Not right now.
I mean, I look forward to getting paired against you, Dem, or Marilyn in the 01 bracket. You always get paired with You always get paired against the people you drive with.
The Magic the Gathering wisdom coming out.
It's all the wisdom I got.
Valid as heck.
All right.
Oh, over on the Free Enterprise channel, we have Valval track, and we're going to be heading over there pretty soon.
Yeah, I think that's about it tonight. So, of course, thanks to Antidale for tracking tonight. Give these two lovely runners a follow, please. Like, they're amazing. They're very good friends of ours as well, so which of course is nice. You know, you always gotta play your friends, sadly sometimes, but that's the nature of the game. But yeah, and that is that tonight. So we've got MuchParanoia moving to 1-0, mechalink dropping into the 0-1 bracket. We have Valvala Skunk and Zyrak waiting for us here on behalf of Silverfire and the RPG Valkyries. I am Demarine2. Have yourself a lovely, lovely, lovely night.